Hello everyone, and welcome to MJ Central. In today's video, we're going to be talking about new comparisons between Michael Jackson and Drake. So without further ado, here we go. That's right everybody, so today we're going to be talking about is Drake in 2021 bigger than Michael Jackson at his peak. This is, 80s Michael Jackson. We want to talk about his peak, like all the 80s and mid-90s really. So this is what they're comparing Drake to right now. And it all started because Billboard tweeted out saying, is this true? And now everybody's taking the net by swarm and they're saying, oh, Drake's better because this, Michael's better by this. What do I think? I think Michael Jackson is better all around and he's also more known. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that, but I don't think it's close. I have a lot of respect for Drake as an artist. I don't like rap music. So I don't listen to rap music. I'm not dissing any rappers out there because it takes a lot to make something, be proud of it, and release it, knowing you're going to get love, knowing you're going to get hate. I have the most respect for that. It's not my cup of tea. I don't like that type of music. And like I said, it's not to a shot if anybody's a rapper out there. I'm not dissing you. It's just not my style of music because everybody has their own styles of music. But comparing Drake to Michael Jackson right now is tough. Not just because of two different genres. It's like when people always try to say who's the best at basketball. Two different, positions. But we're talking about in an era for Michael where you had to physically leave your house, go to the store, and buy that album for it to become a sale. Now you just stream it enough and then it becomes a sale. Right? So those numbers are definitely different, but we're going to get all into that right now.
Everybody, so here we have an article talking about it, and it says putting 9 songs in the top 10 of Billboard's Hot 100 chart just last week. Very impressive, gotta say. Drake broke Jackson's records of 7 songs in the top 10, a record which has stood since the release of 1982's Thriller. Drake also tops Jackson in a handful of other categories too. Drake has the most number 1 albums, boasting 10 to Jackson's 6. Drake has had 54 top 10 singles, while Jackson only recorded 30. And Drake also holds the records for most consecutive weeks on the Hot 100 with an astounding 431 weeks, compared to Michael Jackson's with 258. MJ still has the most consecutive number 1 singles, boasting 5 to Drake's 2, and Thriller is the best-selling album of all time, moving over 100 million copies worldwide. We have a picture of Michael at the history tour. Other factors must be considered. As well, Drake, a pioneer of the internet rap game, has benefited from and ultimately mastered the streaming game, which is very true. Jackson's numbers came in a time when the only way to get music was to go out and buy a physical copy of a record, making a number like Thriller's 100 million copies sold that much more impressive. Very true. But yeah, then it says, naturally, when Billboard took to Twitter to pose a question if Drake as big as Michael Jackson, debated. Billboard also asked if he does have more slaps than the Beatles, which alright, the Beatles is its own thing, right? Very impressive. But they do too. Alright, everybody, so here we go. Let's talk a little bit more, but I just want to say something here. We're looking, and it's saying all of these things from numbers, from albums and stuff. But they're saying, in these comparisons, that Drake is bigger than Michael in general. So they're missing out a huge factor here. Alright everybody, so here we have a bunch of accolades from Michael Jackson. 1 billion plus records sold, 800 plus awards, which is a record, 39 plus Guinness World Record awards, 5 Living Legend Titles award, 80 plus overseas records, hundreds of local records, 2 I don't know what that is, guys, I'm sorry. 758 plus sold out concerts, 13 number 100 singles, 118 plus RIAA certifications. Only artist with a triple diamond album, 5 best-selling albums worldwide, 3 highest grossing solo world tours, 17 different Hall of Fame inductee, 2 stars at Hollywood Walk of Fame, 19 wax figures at Madame Tussauds, 2 wax figures at Guggenheim Museum. Most impersonated person around the world. Moon creator named as Michael Jackson. Michael Joseph Jackson. Artist of the millennium. Most famous person on the 20th and 20th century. Biggest global megastar. Everybody, these are just a couple extra things that Michael Jackson has that if you're going to say he's better or Jake is better than Michael, he has to overcome all of this.
But yeah, everybody, I think one thing a lot of people really forget when we're talking about this right now, and I'm glad a lot of people are bringing it up too, though, is that it's true. We're living in a time where you don't have to physically go out and buy an album for it to count as a sale and a stream. Like, yeah, I mean, you could buy it on iTunes, but there was no such thing as iTunes. Like, you could just buy it from your home. You actually had to leave and pick up that album, right? And we're here, yeah, Drake's album, his new one, I've never listened to it, but, I've heard it's good. And I'll admit, yeah, I'm sure it's probably good. Like I said, I'm not into that type of music, no shots, just not my cup of tea, like I said. But, Drake, respect to you, though. Like, it was a very anticipated album. It's like Michael Jackson's Bad, like, after Thriller, it was very anticipated. And yeah, people, it comes out, you just stream it while you're playing a game, and boom, you're getting mad sales from that. And that's why you're getting so much numbers. You wanted Billie Jean to be a #1 single, a lot of people had to actually buy that single, buy that song. Comparing two different eras, it's so hard. Because like I said, and I completely agree, Drake mastered the streaming game. If you want to say he's better at that than Michael, you can probably go ahead. Because yes, he mastered it. Almost everybody today that are like teenagers and even to the adults, they just listen to rap. And I don't mean that in a rude way. But a lot of people, you go out with somebody, they're playing rap music, okay? They're not playing pop music. And I read another article and it said, is Drake the new king of pop? He wouldn't be the king of pop. With all due respect to him, he would be the king of rap, if anything. You're not going to compare a rapper to just a pop artist and say, you know what I mean? And I don't know why they're so concerned about who's the king of pop, because when Michael was alive, who's the new king of pop? Or who's the new Michael Jackson? Because when Michael Jackson was alive, you guys just treated him like shit anyways. So you want somebody else in that position? Pardon my language, by the way. But it just doesn't make sense. It's two different things, and numbers for that is good. But if you're going to say, Drake is better than Michael Jackson at his peak, then all of those things I just read from that post that I shared with you guys, he needs to top all of that to be better, okay? And it's so tough. It's two completely different genres, two completely different times. Drake's obviously a fan of Michael. Michael sang in one of his songs, Don't Matter to Me. Let me know what you think about that song. It's not bad. I like Michael's part. So, it's very difficult. I think Michael is better. If you're saying Drake is better than Michael at his peak, then you have to weigh in everything else, rather comparing everything to Thriller. It's one of Michael's albums. Michael Jackson was #1 all over the world. You can go anywhere in the world, they're going to know Michael Jackson. They might not know Drake. I said might not know. He's obviously big right now. But Michael has been dead for over a decade, and people still know him, and they still listen to his music, and he's still scoring high on the charts, still. Thriller, for vinyl, LP, it's still selling so much. Thriller, I know we keep talking about Thriller, but it got charted again 34 times platinum. So he's certified again, 34 times platinum. So if you're talking about Drake is overall the better artist, then wouldn't he also need to have the best-selling album of all time, which is Thriller? And Michael has all these other, awards for his music and all this. And I just feel like if you're going to say Drake is better than Michael, or if you're going to say anybody's better than Michael, then they have to top almost everything he's done. That's like, wow, he has more of that, more of this, more of that. Yes, he topped him. Numbers-wise, yes. But until that, I don't see this comparison. And if you read so many people, there's guys, and they say, I am a diehard Drake fan, but come on now. Michael Jackson is the greatest. And I truly think that, with all respect to Drake, I think he's a very nice guy. I never met him. But actually, I did see him at a basketball game. But I think he's a very nice guy. His comedy, I think he's a comedic genius. When he did that NBA thing with DeMar, or when he hosted the NBA Awards, I think he's so funny, and I think he's great. I want him to keep doing what he's doing. I just read in the news that he might be doing some chicken thing. That's amazing, right? Look at that. But Michael, when you want to compare them, you have to compare everything about their careers. Not Drake's career with everything being streamed, which makes numbers go way up, compared to Thriller. Like, Thriller's just one of Michael's albums. There's still so much to compare about. And when you weigh in all these things, no, Michael is still #1. But every year they do this. or at least every couple of years, it was, is Drake, sorry, we are talking about Drake, is Justin Bieber bigger? Is Katy Perry bigger? Is Taylor Swift bigger? You know? And, oh no, I just don't agree. I'm not mad or anything, because in 100 years from now, there's going to be somebody who's probably going to make great music and do great things for the music industry. But somebody like Michael Jackson will never come by. When he would just stand on a stage and people are fainting. People aren't doing that to Drake, right? And and I'm not saying that as a hateful way to Drake. That's when I'm seeing people's arguments, or just supporting Michael or supporting Drake, because, people are going to support who they like. But a lot of people say Michael would just stand on a stage and faint. Drake didn't do that. When Drake's new album came out, there was no such thing as Drake Mania. Like when Thriller came out, and there was Michael Mania. Everybody danced like him, dressing up like him, wanted to be an impersonator. There was none of that kind of stuff, right? And Michael Jackson, #1 all over the world. Thriller, that #1 all over the world. Where, Drake doesn't chart as high all over the world. Drake's doing amazing in America, because I don't hate Drake, I don't want this to come off like I'm only praising Michael but I'm dissing Drake, because that's not the point of the video. I'm just saying, if you wanna, like I'm saying for this part, if you wanna say Drake's better than Michael at his prime, like at his peak, then you gotta weigh in so much more than just the Thriller album. But, where Drake, he doesn't chart as high in other places in the world. Like, yes, he does well in the UK, because I did take a look at his peaks and his charts for all of his albums. Yes, he does great in the UK as well, and I've seen some fans, he's done good too. And then the other places are not as high, 20s and 50s, 80s I've seen. But Michael was always, crazy high. Well, I guess crazy low, I guess. How would I say? Like, in the top early numbers. Great on the charts for his whole career. And even now, after death, and his music is still playing all the time and all that. So, it's hard to say, especially with the whole streaming stuff right now, which is going to make your numbers go crazy high. And that's one thing I don't like about it, too. And how they try to compare that stuff. Where, yeah, this article, which seemed pretty pro-Drake, saying Michael's 100 million actually having to be bought, is completely impressive. And nothing nothing against Drake. Like I said, most respect. But if you're going to call somebody the greatest, say that they're better, they gotta be topping the major achievements. And Drake has topped some of Michael's, of course. There's also some of Michael's that has not been topped yet. Drake hasn't won 8 Grammys in a night. That was definitely at his peak. So if you're saying he's better, then he needs to win 9 and be nominated for 13 or 14, right? So that's just it, everybody. I think there's always comes a time where everybody tries to say who's better. I think, why don't we just appreciate everybody's music? Listen to what you like and appreciate it. Don't worry about who's better, because somebody's gonna love an artist that only they know, doesn't have many fans, and they're gonna say they're the greatest artist ever, right? But, a lot of people always take these hot takes, and, even going to say Drake, like even Michael Mania, Beatle Mania, there's no Drake Mania, really. So, I don't know. I don't know if they tweeted that just to stir the pot and see this huge reaction. When I saw that, I didn't think it was going to be that big. I'm like, okay, we see that stuff sometimes. I wasn't going to plan on making a video until I searched up like a bunch of news, and it was just everywhere. This is trending everywhere. I'm like, whoa, what just happened? But it's tough with the streaming days and actually having to buy a copy with pure sales. That's the word. Pure sales. Michael's albums sales are pure sales. Drake's are just because they're streamed in so many times. That sounds like I'm dissing him, but I'm not. It's just true. It's just facts. Pure sales is better than when you stream a song so much, boom, it counts as a sale. But that's not how it was back then. Because if it was like that back then, Michael's numbers would be even higher than it is now, let me tell you. But it's very, very tough. Great artists, 2 complete different genres. And 2 completely different times. Alright everybody, that is it for this video. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Drake has passed Michael Jackson? Do you think Michael Jackson is still #1? Obviously, I personally do believe Michael Jackson #1. I'm not just talking about... I'm not just saying that because I'm a huge Michael fan. I think it's just true. You have to weigh in a lot of things. Not compare all of Drake's stuff to, Thriller, mostly, right? Alright, but if you'd like to see more of me, you can check out my main channel, Jamal TV. Alright, everybody, that's it. I'll see y'all later. Peace.